Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Basically, here basically we are discussing the one point that is basically formula word, and this is 150 part ongoing. So you can just imagine the deep level of the formula word itself. Till now, basically we have discussed lots of things of the formula, like formulas are equal to set of attributes. Attributes are equal to hundreds of balance sheets. Hundreds of balance sheets are connected with the nuclear um, data. For example, Microsoft is one of the nuclear data. Salesforce is one of the nuclear data. And nuclear basically connects to positive and negative both sides. And each and every nuclear energies are basically controlled by the power companies, energy companies, and nuclear companies. And nuclear companies are directly connected with the satellite industry, basically. And satellite industries are basically directly connected with the ISRO, NASA, and there are basically many energies companies basically who are giving the data to the NASA and ISRO. So directly, basically, NASA and ISRO are not connected with the satellites. They are getting the data from the set of energies and power companies and nuclear companies, and then basically that data are getting converted in the readable format, in the English format, in the Karnataka format, in the Hindi format, any format basically. There's a France, Russian, French. So basically, this stuff, this Arabic language. So like this, basically, there are many languages which gets convert the data. So it's not like that the only English, only Hindi, only Arabic language people are basically at the sky. There are many Russian groups, many France group, basically are connected with the satellites. They have their own roadmaps, basically you can say. So here basically we are not discussing this always. This also basically we are going to discuss after some time periods. So you can add this also in one of the question, basically how each and every countries basically keeps their values and created the roadmap in satellites, in the universe, in sky, in human galaxy, and kept the control with them and is keeping the control with them. So here basically we are discussing about the internet gas pipeline and the Bollywood group industry who are basically easily managing each and every stuff, basically you can say. But the hard work are done, hard work has done, basically you can say. And if the hard work has done, basically, so without hard work basically you can't do anything. Computer basically is a set of automated system, basically you can say. But that automated has not automatically created. There are lots of hard work done, then only basically it's created, basically. For example, internet is giving data within second, but there are lots of hard work has done. Physical areas are created for the data. For example, there are English language, basically A to Z. So for A to Z language, basically there are many cities created to create to generate A in the environment. There are hundreds of cities created. There in Hindi, basically there is a. So to create one there are many cities created. There are many jungles basically created just to create one character, basically. And then basically if character is created, then basically you just need to merge the character and converts to the word, basically. So for that also basically there are many stuff basically in the um, you can say industry which has generated. So here basically we are discussing how the Bollywood industry is managing each and every stuff very easily. Very easily means it's very easy. So Bollywood industry has created one of the category that is basically software industry category. In software industry category, this is the one of the software industry, and which has same level five, one to five, Six Sigma is there, IOSA level is there, private limited companies is there, then public limited companies are there. So each and every software companies are basically divided, right? So this basically comes into the company law. So it comes into the company law. So company law means what? Company law means you can say it's a one set of groups. You can say, for example, there is one project which is ongoing, which has got by the Vadodara city. Assume that. So Microsoft told that basically we are going to create one vegetable That is basically you can say potato. So for potato, basically we require the data. So for that, basically we have created one CRM system basically directly by the Microsoft company, and we have launched this system. And one of the product that is basically the car, basically you can say that basically we have launched in the Vadodara city. So that data basically we required in the database so that we can generate the potatoes basically. So, so how basically the system is basically just working that you can see the potato basically data which are going to be generated, that basically automatically comes to the that CRM system basically. So basically the adjustment are done, the IITs groups are there, IIM groups are there, they basically do certain level of plans. There are many things basically which are connected. We are going to discuss this also, how IITs and IIM industry basically and MBA industry basically are handling the each and every stuff basically you can say of the sales industry. So it's a sales industry which is basically already designed by the IITs and IIMs. So they are basically telling that we have already designed each and every sales level stuff. Just basically our our sales industry basically they are representative. They are just handling they are just displaying the products basically. So we have already created the products basically you can say for the sales. So you can just imagine the depth level of the sales also, which is already created by the certain groups basically. In India, basically the sales industry is totally different. So basically, who are at the top level of the sales or top level of the companies basically, they basically by default handle the sales. Who are at the top level of the company in the India, they are by default they are handling the sales. Overseas rich people also basically connects in India. So basically each and every stuff basically has to be taken care in the country basically when you are staying in the country and when you are the richest person and you are handling the sales industry because sales can't be forceful. So sales force can't be happen. But Salesforce system is also created. That also you can say. So that also we are going to see in detail how Salesforce system has created. So here basically we are discussing that Microsoft, the each and every Bollywood industry are telling that we have created the uh, each and every roadmaps. For example, there are 1 crore roadmaps in internet gas pipeline. So internet gas pipeline basically you can just imagine to run the AWS service of the Amazon. There are 1 lakh roadmap basically is required. So 1 lakh physical roadmaps are created, 100 cities are created. We here basically I'm just taking number as a example, but in real basically the number might be totally different. It might be that Amazon might have taken some road as a rent that I want to go from this road, so I am paying you the this much tax. So let my data gets out from this area. So that type of thing also might have done. So like this, basically the physical roadmaps are created by the Amazon group. So like this, 1 lakh roads are created. 1 lakh road means 1 lakh cities are sorry, the 100 cities are created. In 100 cities, basically there are 1 lakh roadmaps. So like this, there are assume that there are 1 crore to 10 crore roadmaps which is created in the internet gas pipeline. So you can just imagine the internet gas pipeline, how depth it might be because 10 crore to 1 crore roadmaps are just moving inside the internet gas pipeline and no data is getting clash with each other, nothing is happening. It's like that the your body is having veins, right? Nas you can say. There basically the blood circulation happens. Your body basically has having veins, and in this basically the blood circulation is happening. So it's not clashing it with each other, right? Until basically you don't have until basically you don't get any hurt or any you don't get any problem, you don't have any you don't your body does not hurt anything basically that time basically your body is normal, then basically it's okay. If the body is not get if anything happens to your body, That time your wings basically you can say that is NAS basically that gets damaged. So internet gas pipeline are not like that. It's very tough basically. Same as basically you can say like your bodies only basically you can say how basically your blood cells circulates do the process in your body basically you can say through the NAS basically we can say. So like this same way basically the internet gas pipeline is basically doing the circulation, doing the process of the internet data. Instead of blood cells, there basically it's a data. But one day that internet data is going to convert to the blood cells. So you can just imagine before blood cells process happens, there are how many things basically gets into picture. So there basically the internet data are getting processed in the internet gas pipeline, so that the data are when the data are going to, because I will tell take one example why the data are getting processed in the internet gas pipeline. Because for example you have eaten potato, right? So your body is your body basically is going to consume that potato. So your body is supposed to take that potato, and it should the potato should able to digest in your body, and it should not basically have creates any problem. It should not create any problem basically you can say. So due to that basically the before potato gets creates for assume that this potato is created going to create from one of the software. So when this potato software potato data that is basically inside the internet gas pipeline, when it's getting processed, that time basically the each and every blood groups of the human being. For example, there are 15 to 20 blood groups we have basically in the Earth planet basically. So Earth planet have got 20 to 15 to 20 blood cells group basically you can say use blood cells group basically as a power basically you can say got as a power. So like this 20 15 to 20 blood groups are basically inside that internet gas pipeline. So just imagine how the internet are basically created. That means one thing more get cleared, that Bollywood industry have set of doctors also who are basically checking the Bollywood blood cells. So you can say that Bollywood itself have one blood cells. So Bollywood blood cells is there. That is basically by default because it's not possible to control the entire blood cells. That is basically assume that Bollywood has created 15 to 20 categories like software industry they have created. They have created some another industry also. Like this, they have created 15 to 20 industries, sectors basically, categories basically you can say. So that category contains comes into the Bollywood industry. So Bollywood is one category. Inside that there are subcategories that are basically 15 to 20. In this basically one of the categories software industry. So to handle basically each and every stuff basically it's not so easy. So Bollywood energy has generated in the you can say in the energy level market, and that has given the physical location also. For example, if assume that the Bollywood blood cells Bollywood energy is created from the 1 lakh buildings, sorry, 10 lakh buildings, 20 lakh buildings assume, and 20 lakh buildings are basically circulated are placed in assume that 180 countries. So that 180 countries basically contains the Bollywood energy. So whenever the Bollywood get processed, whenever the Bollywood gets upgrades themselves, then basically this area also gets upgraded. It's same as basically the text box is equal to 1,000 cities. If the text box industry says that yeah, basically our data are getting full, then basically they increase one more city, add the one more city in the text box area basically. Same as basically the when the server gets full basically, then another server gets added. But nowadays AWS is there. So basically there are basically lots of server don't need to add because it's a roadmap is already created by the AWS industry. Sorry, AWS architect group basically that is basically Amazon group. They basically have the certain data that we, at this time basically these data are going to process. So according to that the servers are created. So there would not be any traffic burden also. So you can just imagine the creation level also. And Bollywood says that we have created the software industry. So like this, Bollywood industry says that we have 20 lakh buildings across the world, and that is our energy. On the base of that, the software industry, for example, from 20 lakh, they have created around 10 to 20,000 buildings for the software industry. So if there is any changes happening, is there any changes which happens in the Microsoft, then basically from the 20,000 buildings something changes has happened. So in that 20,000 buildings area some changes has happened. So basically first physical changes happen. Before that physical, the virtual manipulation are done in the environment. Virtual energies are generated. Then only basically you can create the physical, right? So for assume that there are basically Bollywood energy that are 20 lakh buildings. So 20 lakh buildings areas are getting processed, getting processed. As the process is happening, the new ideas are basically automatically getting generated, and these ideas are basically directly controlled by the satellites industry that are basically in the sky. Basically, they filters each and everything. They manipulate each and everything basically. So like this, the process happens of the Bollywood industry, and in this process, basically, if any discussion has happened of the Microsoft, of the Salesforce, of the software industry, then basically that also process happens. So like this, the process happens. Then the next level of the creation automatically gets generated. That is basically the Bollywood next level creation. That is basically the 20 lakh buildings are getting created, are already created. If they can adjust these new things basically which has processed in the existing 20 lakh building, then basically they will adjust the thing. Otherwise they will create the new buildings or new areas basically, you can say, because it's the experts basically that are basically doctors. So Bollywood doctors are also there, that also you can say. Bollywood energy experts are there who basically says that we are handling the Bollywood energy, we are handling the Bollywood blood cells, we are handling the Bollywood ideas. So from Bollywood ideas, only the software idea basically came. And from the software ideas, basically there are many hundreds of company basically that are created, like Microsoft, Salesforce is there, SAP is there, then PHP, Python, Java is there. So like this, basically there are many things are also created by the. There are basically more than 10 to 20, 1 to 10 crore roadmaps in the internet gas pipeline. In the internet gas pipeline, basically there are many roadmaps created by the software industry. 1 lakh basically we have taken as an example of Amazon, that is basically for AWS special. Basically they have created this roadmaps 1 lakh, and to generate this 1 lakh roadmap they have created 100 cities. Physical area is always there. So whenever the virtual area you say that this is the virtual area, then the physical areas are always there. So like this, the software industries basically comes into the picture. And the Bollywood industries are always processing the things basically. But where basically that basically by default it's writers basically who keeps on writing the. So Bollywood never stops basically. That also you can say, because it's in 190 country. Assume, just taken as an example, 20 lakh buildings are in 190 countries. Then 24 hours are there. So in within entire 24 hours, basically Bollywood industries are working. So Bollywood industries always keeping process or doing always doing the process, and according to the process, basically the uh, energies are happening. And in this process, basically in this discussion, basically if the software industry discussion has happened, then basically from there basically the software process happens. And in software basically which company's process has happened. For example, Microsoft is equal to uh, generating the mathematics blood cells, mathematics power. Basically if you eat these human needs, then basically Microsoft vegetable, then basically your blood cells is going to generate mathematics power. So your mathematics will become more powerful. Then romantic blood cells are there. Like this, basically there are many blood cells created by Microsoft industry. So like this, which type of process basically has happened in the Bollywood industry at the time of the return? At the time of the Bollywood industry has written the script basically, you can say, and script also, and basically the discussion has happened in the 20 lakh buildings basically. So whatever the process has happened, whatever the discussion has happened, according to that, the software energy next level process has generated. So like this, basically this was the 150 number, and in 151 basically we are going to discuss little bit more about the Bollywood industry process, and according to that process, how the software industries are getting processed.